A new GTA Online update has arrived, and with it brings a bunch of top-notch payout adjustments to a variety of activities throughout the game. In this video, I'll be going over everything you need to know and showing you how to make heaps of easy solo money along the way. One of the big focuses of the event is on vehicle cargo, something that hasn't received an update in a very long time. But for the rest of the week, it's offering up 2 times money on all vehicle sales, which makes for some pretty tasty income, especially when you mix it in with a couple of the other bonuses that I'll be showing off later in the video. To get started with the vehicle warehouse, you'll first need to purchase an office building. They can be found by accessing the Dynasty 8 executive website using the in-game internet, where they're currently 50% off and start at around 500k. Once you get that all sorted, make your way over to the computer in the corner of the room, where you can then log in and get the process started. When you get onto the main screen, you'll obviously want to select vehicle cargo, where it will then bring you onto a map that shows you all of the available warehouse locations. Which one you go with is really up to you, but personally I like to select something that's close to my office to make transport between the two nice and easy. The cheapest option by far is over here at La Mesa, but all of them are currently 50% off, so whichever one you pick, you're going to be getting it for an absolute steal. When you've bought that, you can immediately start sourcing cars from this same computer. It can either be done here at your office or by using either the Terabyte or the Master Control terminal in your arcade. There's quite a decent variety of sourcing missions, and they scale in difficulty depending on whether you're collecting a low, medium, or high tier vehicle. With the double money bonus, a low tier vehicle is worth 70k, a mid-tier is worth 125k, and a high-end vehicle is worth 200k. But there are some mods you have to buy for the cars when it comes time to sell, so you actually get a bit less than that, but I'll cover all of that stuff in a minute. One of the best things about vehicle cargo though is there's a super simple trick that guarantees you'll source a top tier vehicle every single time. Basically, anytime you get a low or mid-tier vehicle, you want to make sure that you collect it and then keep it stored at your warehouse without actually selling it. There's a total of 10 low tier vehicles and 10 mid tier vehicles, and once you've collected and stored all of those, you'll only ever get top of the range vehicles when sourcing. The only exception is sometimes you will get the same car twice, which will have a different color and number plate. Anytime that happens, be sure to sell off the extra car to ensure that the system works correctly. You can keep track of your entire collection by accessing the computer inside the warehouse itself. Here you can sort the cars by value, name, and crucially, low, mid, and top tier as well. I've just started doing this for the second time on a new account, and I've only got the one car. But even when you've got a bunch, these menu systems make it super easy to keep track of everything. Just check in every so often, sort the cars by low or mid tier, and just make sure that you haven't got any doubles before continuing. Once you've got 10 of both the low and mid-tier vehicles though, you should no longer get any duplicates and you'll be all good to go. The only other thing to consider is don't ever store more than 12 high-end vehicles at one time. Once you go over that threshold, it kind of messes things up and you start getting the cheaper cars again. Now, all of that might sound a bit complicated, but I promise you it's not. As a general rule, just make sure that you sell all high-end vehicles exclusively and try not to let them build up too much. As long as you do that, the rest should pretty much take care of itself. Just check in on the computer at the vehicle warehouse and look for duplicates every so often, and you shouldn't have too much of a problem. If you want a comprehensive list of all of the vehicles, the number plates, and even a breakdown of all of the various missions, I'll be sure to link a wiki article down in the description below. The main difficulty you'll have when sourcing cars is keeping the damage as low as possible. You'll almost certainly get chased by NPCs and potentially even cops as well, and with every little bump, scrape, and bullet, you'll get charged a pretty hefty sum for the damages. They do max out eventually, but not until 34k, which is pretty damn steep. So be sure to drive quickly but carefully, and try to avoid all of the NPC drivers going batshit crazy from all the bullets. You do have the option of pulling over and taking out the enemies, but there's several waves of them and it's honestly not really worth it. If the damages get too high and you don't want to pay for the repairs, just change sessions before finishing the delivery and you can start a new mission. It can be a bit frustrating, but sometimes you do just get a bad run and cop a lot of damage, and depending on the value of the car, it might not be worth it. You can use a cargo bob job if you happen to own one, and some people swear by doing it that way. In my experience, it is definitely helpful sometimes, but not so much in other cases, so really it's up to you. When it comes time to sell, make your way over to the computer inside your vehicle warehouse. Unlike the sourcing missions, this is the only place that you can sell from. The Terabyte and the Master Control Terminal won't be any good here. Same deal as before, sort them however you want. Or in our situation, we got lucky and I was able to snag a high-end vehicle on my first attempt, so we'll go ahead and sell that. You can sell up to 4 vehicles at a time, but you can only do 1 per person, so you will need friends to help you out if you plan on selling more than 1. When you get onto this screen, you want to make sure that you always select the option that pays you the most, which at the moment is paying out 200k thanks to the 2 times money bonus. That'll then bring you into the modification menu and will request a bunch of different changes to be made to the car. You don't need to be too specific here, just make your way through the categories and select any of the options available to progress through the list. For a top tier vehicle, the mods will cost 40k, meaning you'll get paid 160k for a pristine delivery. But of course that's with a 2 times bonus. Once that's gone, the mods will only cost 20k and you'll get paid 80k for the sale. As for the sale missions themselves, in principle they're really easy and simply require you to drive the car from point A to point B. However, if you choose to sell in a solo lobby, you'll get pursued by enemies the entire time, and they'll do some pretty gnarly damage in the process. So this is one of the few times I'll suggest going public. Just make sure that you find yourself a nice chill lobby and observe it for a while before starting. Even if there's only 1 other player in your session, you won't get pursued whatsoever. Best part is, that can even be a friend or a crewmate. As long as they're not in your organization, it'll count them as the main threat, and you won't get attacked by NPCs. I decided to go invite only just so I could show off the potential damage that you can get when selling with enemies. Overall, it wasn't too bad apart from at the start there, and I was able to outrun them all pretty easily. As you can see, even with only just a few attacks, it still knocked the price down by quite a bit. So yeah, I suffered so you don't have to, legends. Get yourself a small and quiet public lobby and you should be all set. But if you're absolutely insistent on going invite only, you can always just kill the 4 waves of enemies before continuing, but it takes a long time and you'll want to make sure that you park the car somewhere safe before taking them out. The only downside of selling vehicles is that you'll get hit with a 20-minute cooldown timer. Plus, if you sell more than 1 at a time, you'll get an extra 10 minutes for each additional vehicle. If you're still in the process of building up your warehouse, you can easily fill that time by just sourcing more cars. But don't stress if you've already done that, there's a few other bonuses that are definitely worth considering. My personal favorite is a massive 3 times money on all VIP jobs available through SecuroServe in the interaction menu when you're active in an organization. The ones I like to go with are Haulage, Headhunter, and Sightseer, but check some of them out and see which ones you like the best. Sightseer is definitely one of the more relaxed options and simply has you driving to collect 3 packages from different locations around the map. You'll have to complete a few basic hacks on your phone to reveal each of them, but they're all super simple and shouldn't be any worries at all. In my case, I got some pretty bad luck and had to drive all over the place, but it still only took me a few minutes. And considering all of that, the payout is pretty damn good. 70k for an easy mission like this isn't bad at all. So overall, I was pretty bloody happy with the latest event week. It's been a serious minute since we had a bonus on import-export, and I've really enjoyed changing up my grind. For anyone needing a quick recap though, you can see that we've got 2 times money on vehicle cargo, and then we've got 3 times money on VIP work, kill quota, and Simeon requests, where he texts you a list of cars for you to collect once every real life day. And then finally, we've got 5 times money on taxi work, which is the biggest bonus we've seen so far. But honestly, even at that, the money is still pretty average. But if for some reason you want to check it out, I'll be sure to link my guide down in the description. Well, so far, it's been a pretty exciting week for Rockstar fans. The GTA 6 announcement a few days ago blew the roof off the community, and we even got some decent bonuses for GTA Online as well. If you found this video useful though, hitting the like button would be greatly appreciated. And if you're new around here, make sure to go ahead and subscribe as well. I create weekly money guides every time a new update goes live, and I'll be covering all of the latest GTA 6 news as it becomes available. But until we meet again, you bunch of legends, I'm Red Nitrate, and I'll catch you on the next one.